Dürer's three master engravings are critical of the Catholic Church. A friend of Martin Luther, he was a Protestant who had to hide his reformist ideas by proposing puzzles to be solved by cutting and folding, a kind of origami. His customers bought engravings for a few coins at fairs and markets throughout Europe. In 1513 and 1514, three engravings were published, each criticizing the abuses of the Roman Catholic Church. The Night, Death and the Devil condemns the use of military force by Rome. Melancholia, I denounces the perversion of the original spiritual message, and Saint Jerome in his study denounces the exploitation of Scripture for political ends. The engraving, Night, Death and Devil, shows a knight on horseback being pushed by the devil and hurried by Death, who shows him an hourglass to reach a city in the background. On a rock, near the lizard, the word Syros, which means horn in Greek, indicates that the lizard's tail must be moved to form a monoceros, a medieval symbol of wrath. The devil's goat's foot replaces the knight's, and the fur on his spear forms the thigh. On the hourglass, the date 1405 refers to the Triviallo massacre, perpetrated by the pro-Pope Guelph against the Ghibellines, who supported the Holy Roman Empire. Once moved, the devil's finger points to a serpent's tail that reads Guelph. The crown of death repeats the date 1405 and the name of the Colleoni family, responsible for the massacre. The devil's horn points to the Colleoni chapel in the city of Bergamo, Italy. The death's head with the pommel of the sword and the hook on the knight's armor are moved to the skull. The date becomes the name of the Roman general Gaius Sosius, who conquered Judea and put Herod the Great, the persecutor of Christ, on the throne. Melancholia I is one of the most enigmatic works of art because it contains a hidden message. The scene takes place after the resurrection of Christ. According to the Gospel of John chapter 20 verse 8, two angels were present, one at the head and the other at the feet of the tomb, the famous Dürer's Salad. The angel at the head is a very young Saint Jerome translating the scriptures. At the bottom, the archangel Raphael is using his compass to compare the message from heaven, materialized by the star, with the book. Raphael looks at Saint Jerome with disappointment. The scene is full of disguised instruments of the Passion, the Arma Christi. One is cleverly hidden in the magic square. Following Dürer's instructions, by cutting and folding in the right place, the square is transformed into a dice with which the Roman soldiers gambled for the seamless robe of Christ. In Saint Jerome in his study, Dürer placed numbers from 1 to 8 to indicate folds. Once identified, the person who bought the engraving would fold 1 over 2, 3 over 4, 5 over 6 and 7 over 8. The indications for cuts are scissor-shaped. They are marked with orange lines. Blue lines are the folds and purple lines are the accordion folds of the sealing battens. After the cuts and folds, the engraving shows its intended message. The flaming skull, symbol of the plague, sits on the books, which are the Latin Bible called Vulgate, condemning its danger. The Catholic Church of Rome is represented by the evil Saint Jerome with a horn on his head and a lion's body for its political power. Dürer could not openly criticize the Catholic Church. He had to hide the real meaning behind these riddles. These enigmatic engravings have been puzzling art historians for centuries. These unsolved mysteries are called the Dürer's Code. It is now solved. More hidden details in the three masters' engravings can be found in my article.